Hi, I'm Evan Pantazi. I wanted to relate a little story today about something that happened to me in the past and related to what I'm writing about on the blogs and doing on my YouTube channel lately. The story was about 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, somewhere in that time frame. We went down to North Carolina to a Kempo school that was hosting Chosei Motobu sensei, Choki Motobu's son and lineage holder and of the style. And the seminar was billed as being the 12 original bunkai of Hanshi, which interested me greatly at the time. And we went down there. It also stated that there were no secrets, and I got excited about that because I was going to ask him some questions on Kyusho, of course. And a buddy of mine and I went down there, and we started training with it. And he was showing all the Kyusho targets of the body when he was doing his bunkai. All right, and when we duplicated it, hitting each other naturally and screaming and maybe falling down, he came over and chastised us. He said, don't hit the person, and then also he was telling us not to hit here, and we're saying, Sensei, we saw you put your elbow or your fist in this location. We're just duplicating what you stated. And he got very upset with us. And, you know, we continued to try to do this more discreetly. We got caught a couple more times aiming at the places that he was saying to hit, not showing where he was hitting or duplicating the actions he was going through. So he wasn't really happy with us, so we mellowed out a little bit. Now, during that period, he had one of his students of 50 years that was helping him out during the seminar. And we got aside with him, and he was showing some people some corrections on the movements they were making with the bunkai. And we're listening in, and all of a sudden he was showing a back fist to the eye on the infraorbital nerve, and he was saying Kyusho. And all of a sudden my ears perked up, and the guy went with also a fellow Kyusho practitioner. We perked up, we looked at each other, and you know, that's when we started asking the questions. Now, his student, I forget his name at the time, and I don't really want to mention it anyway, he was just going off and showing, yes, Kyusho this, and he was showing us very simple targets and methods of accessing the Kyusho. He was just pointing to the area and showing something that you could attack it with to get a result. And every once in a while he'd say, hurt very bad, or person fall down, and things like this. Again, we're just getting all excited, asking more questions, using the word Kyusho quite a bit more, until Sensei Motobu came over and then put a stop to it. After that, we never saw the student come over to us again or help us with the Kyusho. Now, during that seminar, it was billed as they were going to hold no secrets, tell the truth, complete truth. But what we found out, it wasn't the truth about the Hanshi Kata or the Kyusho or the bunkai or the lineage. What it was a political conflict they were having with another Kempo group claiming title to something or other. I didn't get into it because I don't really get interested in that kind of stuff. I just wanted the training and the Kyusho. So that was what the seminar was really billed for, even though we believed it was something else. Our fault. I mean, the instructors of that time did not want to tell us that there was Kyusho or what Kyusho was all about. Now, there was a question and answer period at the end of the seminar, as there is in most seminars, my own included. And they said, does anybody have any questions? So my hand went right up, and I started asking about Kyusho. And there was a panel with Sensei down at the end. So it went through about 3 or 4 people with the translation, passing down this interesting line of communication, sort of like that telephone drill where the story really never gets to the instructor, I guess. But he would come back with an answer, it'd come back down the chain, and then I'd get my answer, aye, yes, or no. And all the Kyusho questions were shot down, and they say, we don't want to talk about that, we're here to answer questions on this other topic. I didn't have any because I'm not in either organization and only really cared about the karate aspect of it. And so, you know, we're going. He supposedly didn't know any English. Now, we're going down the line, and all of a sudden at the end, he says, okay, one more question. Now, he was getting perturbed at my question and my buddy's question at the time, because we were the only ones raising their hands. You know, it's in a seminar. You ask who's got questions. Nobody's got questions till after the seminar, and then they start asking each other, you know, or asking the questions after, so they wouldn't be embarrassed with that they sounded stupid or something like that, completely wasting everybody's time. But at the last question, we wanted to ask about the Kiai Jitsu, the sound aspects that Gary Rooks had discovered or got taught by the old Chinese individual. And the question was, does Kiais have a place with the sound and the Kyusho affecting the nervous system of the human body? And before it went right down the line, the sensei just looked at us and in a very perturbed voice shouted, no, not shouted, but a very loud voice exclaimed, no. So we understood that he understood the question and the language. So that was kind of odd. And so we ended it there. We went home. We had more than enough. We had gotten our answer from the student, so we weren't really particularly fazed that the sensei didn't want to answer our questions or show us the real Kyusho or the real bunkai methods that his father had passed down. He was doing them because honor. You have to do what your father had slated for you to do or passed on. I mean, that's just integrity. That's honor of the system, but not to the people in that seminar or us as a growing karate interested person. So anyway, at the dinner, I went over to apologize to the sensei, so I walked up to him at the end and I said, Sensei, I do apologize for my rude behavior. I was just interested. I was very curious. The seminar billing said you would answer any question truthfully, so I just thought that meant any question, and I do apologize. So he's just sitting there, he nods a couple times, and then I asked him, I said, Sensei, one more question. On your Nahanchi, we typically in our style start with this hand on top and pull it out to the side palm position or backhand position that you see in a lot of Nahanchi styles. And you do it with the opposite hand on the bottom. And I asked, why is that? And he started answering quite well in English about why it would be more prudent to put your hand on top because it would pull off easier rather than on the bottom, because you'd have to pull it out from the bottom first to slap the person or do whatever technique you were doing. So I understood again that he knew English. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Now, why I'm relating this story to you is because these old senseis, they know the Kyusho. It's in the art. They have the manuals. They've written about them. They've demonstrated them. There's so many things that the old senseis, from the Motubu sensei down to Gichin Funakoshi, Ohan Soken, and many of the other names have shown the Kyusho. And they know it, and they're just not passing it to us. Now, my question is to the modern karate practitioner, why aren't you looking for this? It's there. Why aren't you trying to practice it? Why aren't you trying to learn it? Why aren't you trying to spread the real karate or the deeper meanings of the karate to your students? Why are you holding back on this information and keeping yourself away from it? Yeah, you know, you can do sport karate, that's great. You can do the performance and be so interested in the way the body mechanics work, but that's not the Kyusho. That's not the real essence of that martial art. You look at the old Kyusho or karate instructors doing their kata on film. They look sloppy, they look slow, but they look like they're thinking about something. Nowadays, people working on the snappiness, the speed, the power of their technique, they have no clue what's going on inside. It's their main goal is just to do a snappy, crisp-looking kata so they can get a trophy. And that's all well and good. Again, that has its place, that has its time. And for kids, yeah, it's great. It's good exercise, it's good discipline, and it's making their bodies powerful and strong. And for self-defense, yeah, they're developing tools as well. But for an instructor, I think all instructors should be diving right into this because it is the base of their systems. It came from that. Okay, so why not investigate it? And even if say it didn't even come from that, which is, I totally disbelieve. If it didn't come to that, and the possibility was there that you could put that into your style, into your kata, and give your students a deeper meaning, why aren't you? Okay, what are you holding back from your students? And every decade, every generation that goes by that doesn't know this information was originally in there and how to adapt it to their particular style weakens the karate. Okay, again, it doesn't weaken the sports side. That's getting better and better. You can see through the years the performances are getting more crisp, but the real inner bunkai, or the real inner concentration, is being lost, and that's a darn shame. So I just wanted to relate that story to you. My arm's getting a little tired holding this camera. You can see it's vibrating a little here at the end, so I'm going to leave it off at that. And I'll bring you more stories from my experiences in Kyusho. Gone through a lot of stories, a lot of seminars, a lot of places around the world, and meeting a lot of senseis. So I'll be bringing those to you shortly. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel.